Okay, well, let's get going on the dishes. And
Yeah, that's all Southwestern.
It's okay.
New Year's Eve is all about celebration, and the oldies knew how to do it right, with bold flavors, creative presentations, and an endless sense of fun.
All the real goodness of the quad countryside on a plate.
Let's take a trip back in time as we explore 25 New Year's Eve recipes from the 70s that are perfect for ushering in the new year.
And try some of the wife's appetizers while you wait.
1. Pineapple cheese ball. The pineapple cheese ball was a staple of New Year's Eve celebrations in the 1970s, embodying the era's love for unique flavor combinations and bold presentations. This retro appetizer started with cream cheese as a base, blended with crushed pineapple to add a tropical sweetness. To balance the flavor, finely chopped green bell peppers and onions were folded into the mixture to provide a subtle crunch. Once the ingredients were combined, the mixture was shaped into a ball and coated with a layer of finely chopped pecans,
And those pecans,
giving it a nutty, buttery crust. Served with crackers, it was a perfect centerpiece for a snack table, offering a mix of creamy, crunchy, sweet, and savory in every bite. The pineapple cheese ball was loved for its versatility and simplicity. It required no cooking, could be prepared ahead of time, and appealed to a wide range of palates. It was also reflective of the 70s fascination with pineapple as an ingredient that added an exotic flair to party dishes. Though it has fallen out of fashion, the pineapple cheese ball remains a fun, nostalgic recipe to revive for retro-themed parties or family gatherings. Its unique combination of flavors makes it a memorable addition to any celebration. Our next dish takes a frosty turn. 2. Shrimp cocktail in ice bowls. In the 1970s, shrimp cocktail served in handcrafted ice bowls was a hallmark of sophistication. This classic appetizer featured chilled shrimp paired with a zesty cocktail sauce made from ketchup, horseradish, Worcestershire sauce, and lemon juice. However, the real showstopper was the elegant presentation. Ice bowls were created by freezing water in two nested bowls, often with decorative additions like lemon slices, herbs, or edible flowers embedded in the ice. These bowls served both form and function, keeping the shrimp perfectly chilled while adding a stunning visual element to the party spread. Shrimp cocktail was a go-to for New Year's Eve parties because of its simplicity and luxury appeal. The tender shrimp and bold sauce offered a light and refreshing contrast to heavier dishes, making it an ideal choice to kick off a festive evening, while the ice bowl gave the dish a touch of glamour that impressed guests. While the use of ice bowls has waned over the years, shrimp cocktail remains a timeless classic. Whether you serve it in a retro ice bowl or a modern dish, it's a surefire way to bring a touch of 70s sophistication to your party table. The next dish on our list uses a flame technique and a dramatic finale. 3. Flaming Cherries Jubilee. Flaming cherries. Jubilee was one of the most dramatic desserts of the 1970s, guaranteed to steal the show at any New Year's Eve celebration. This iconic dish involved dark cherries simmered in a sweet, buttery sauce.
The sauce at this point should have a nice shine to it.
Made with sugar and a splash of orange juice or cherry liqueur. The real excitement came from the flambe technique, where brandy was added to the skillet and set aflame, creating a spectacular fire display. Once the flame subsided, the warm cherries and syrupy sauce were spooned over scoops of vanilla ice cream. The contrast between the hot, rich cherries and the cold, creamy ice cream created an irresistible dessert experience. Cherries Jubilee was popular because it was both simple to prepare and incredibly theatrical, perfectly suited for festive occasions. Though its origins date back to the 19th century, it saw a major revival in the 70s, when dramatic tableside dishes were all the rage. Today, Flaming Cherries Jubilee remains a nostalgic choice for anyone wanting to relive the flair of 70s entertaining. It's an easy way to add excitement and a touch of elegance to your New Year's Eve dessert spread. Our next dish moves away from fire and delivers handheld bites of savory indulgence. 4. Mini Beef Wellington. Mini Beef Wellington was a well-known New Year's Eve appetizer in the 1970s, combining the elegance of fine dining with the practicality of finger food. These bite-sized delights featured tender pieces of beef wrapped in buttery puff pastry, often with a layer of mushroom duxelles and pâté for added richness. The preparation began with searing small cuts of beef to lock in the juices, then spreading the duxelles, a finely chopped mixture of mushrooms, shallots, and herbs, over the top. Each piece was wrapped in puff pastry, sealed and baked to golden perfection. The result was a flaky, tender pastry that encased juicy beef with earthy, savory flavors in every bite. Mini beef Wellingtons were a crowd pleaser because they were easy to serve and eat while mingling, making them ideal for cocktail-style parties. Their luxurious ingredients gave them an air of sophistication, perfectly suited for ringing in the new year with style. Although they require a bit of effort to prepare, mini beef Wellingtons are still a delightful addition to any celebratory spread. They're a perfect nod to retro entertainment and a great way to bring a taste of the 70s to your party table. Unlike these savory foods, the next dish leans into sweetness. 5. 7-layer dip. 7-layer dip became a smash hit during the 1970s as a go-to party dish that combined bold flavors and vibrant presentation. This appetizer featured 7 layers of ingredients, each complementing the others in taste and texture. Served in a glass dish to showcase the colorful layers, it was as visually impressive as it was delicious. The base layer was typically refried beans, followed by seasoned sour cream or guacamole. Next came chopped tomatoes, shredded lettuce, and black olives, creating a fresh and zesty middle. The dip was topped with shredded cheese, often a blend of cheddar and Monterey Jack, and finished with a sprinkling of scallions or jalapenos for added kick. 7-layer dip was beloved for its versatility and ease of preparation. It required no cooking and could be customized with additional ingredients to suit individual tastes. Served with tortilla chips, it was a perfect appetizer for casual gatherings where guests could graze at their leisure. Though it remains a staple at many modern parties, 7-layer dip's heyday was undoubtedly in the 70s, when its bold flavors and cheerful presentation captured the spirit of the era. Bringing this classic to your New Year's Eve celebration is sure to spark nostalgia and satisfy hungry guests. The next dish on our list is a chilled treat that doubles as both dessert and a showpiece. 6. Clams Casino. Clams Casino was a quintessential New Year's Eve appetizer in the 1970s, offering a blend of elegance and savory decadence. This dish featured fresh clams topped with a mixture of breadcrumbs, crispy bacon, garlic, and herbs, then baked until golden. The dish was served in its own shell, making it a visually stunning addition to party spreads. A squeeze of lemon added a bright finish to balance the rich flavors of bacon and butter.
You want to scrape the shellfish out of the shell.
Clams Casino was popular for its luxurious yet approachable profile, perfect for ringing in the new year with a touch of sophistication. Originating in Rhode Island, Clams Casino rose to fame as a fancy hors d'oeuvre in mid-century fine dining and home entertaining. In the 70s, it became a staple for celebrations, offering a crowd-pleasing combination of smoky, buttery, and briny flavors. Though it's less common today, Clams Casino is worth rediscovering for its retro charm and delicious flavor. It's an appetizer that pairs beautifully with champagne, making it a natural fit for New Year's Eve gatherings. The next dish on our list would definitely bring a touch of spice to your party table. 7. Curried deviled eggs. Deviled eggs have been a party favorite for decades, but in the 1970s, the addition of curry powder elevated this classic appetizer to a whole new level. Curried deviled eggs combined creamy, tangy, and subtly spicy flavors in one perfect bite. The yolk filling included the traditional mix of mayonnaise, mustard, and vinegar, but curry powder added warmth and a hint of earthiness. Paprika and a sprig of parsley often garnished the tops, giving the eggs a vibrant, festive appearance. Some recipes included finely chopped onions or chutney for added texture and sweetness. This dish stood out on New Year's Eve buffets because it was easy to prepare, served cold, and loved by everyone. The 70s fascination with exotic spices and flavors made curried versions of traditional recipes like deviled eggs incredibly popular. Curried deviled eggs are quick to make and endlessly customizable, making them a versatile addition to any holiday spread. Our next dish is a creamy, chilled favorite that doubled as a side or dessert. 8. Mandarin orange salad. Mandarin orange salad was a staple of New Year's Eve buffets in the 1970s, combining sweet, tangy, and creamy elements into a refreshing dish. It featured canned mandarin oranges tossed with miniature marshmallows, shredded coconut, and a creamy dressing made from whipped topping and sour cream. This retro salad was easy to prepare and offered a bright pop of color, making it an ideal addition to holiday spreads. Variations included adding crushed pineapple, maraschino cherries, or chopped nuts for extra texture and flavor. The dressing provided a tangy contrast to the sweetness of the fruit and marshmallows, resulting in a dessert-like dish that could double as a side. The appeal of mandarin orange salad lay in its versatility. It fit right into the 70s obsession with creative uses of canned goods and pre-made ingredients, while its tropical flavors added a touch of warmth to winter celebrations. Though it's not as common today, mandarin orange salad remains a delight. It's a fun and easy recipe to recreate for a retro-themed party, or to add a playful touch to modern holiday gatherings. Unlike this fruity dish, the next entry delivers a savory taste. 9. Cheese soufflé. Cheese soufflé was a daring and elegant choice for New Year's Eve parties in the 1970s. This French-inspired dish featured a light, fluffy base made from beaten egg whites folded into a rich bechamel sauce flavored with sharp cheese, such as Gruyere or cheddar. Baked to golden perfection, the soufflé would rise dramatically in the oven, creating an airy, delicate structure. The trick to a perfect soufflé was timing, serving it immediately after baking to preserve its height and texture. The drama of removing it from the oven and rushing it to the table made it a showpiece dish for celebratory meals. Cheese soufflé was served as a sophisticated appetizer or side dish, often paired with a crisp salad or sparkling wine. Its luxurious texture and deep cheesy flavor made it a standout on New Year's Eve menus. However, its reputation for being temperamental in the oven deterred some home cooks, contributing to its decline in popularity. For those looking to bring back a touch of retro elegance, cheese soufflé is a delicious and rewarding challenge. It's a timeless way to impress guests and add a bit of 70s flair to your holiday table. The next dish on our list packs a burst of chocolate. 10. Chocolate fondue. Chocolate fondue was the ultimate crowd pleaser at 70s New Year's Eve parties, combining interactive dining with indulgent sweetness. This dish featured melted chocolate served in a fondue pot, kept warm with a small flame or heating element. Party guests would gather around to dip an assortment of treats into the chocolate, creating a fun and social dessert experience. Typical dippers included fresh fruit like strawberries, bananas, and pineapple chunks, along with marshmallows, pound cake cubes, and even pretzels for a salty-sweet combination. Variations of the chocolate base could include liqueurs like Grand Marnier or Kahlua, adding depth and a boozy kick to the rich flavor. Fondue was emblematic of the 70s focus on communal dining and entertaining. The ease of preparation and ability to customize the experience made it a popular choice for New Year's Eve. It brought guests together and added an element of playfulness to the party. Though chocolate fondue isn't as common today, it remains a delightful way to create an interactive dessert table. Our next dish steps back into savory territory with a flaky handheld favorite. 11. Pigs in a blanket. Pigs in a blanket were a beloved finger food of the 1970s, making frequent appearances at New Year's Eve parties. These bite-sized snacks featured cocktail sausages wrapped in flaky crescent roll dough and baked to golden perfection. What made pigs in a blanket so popular was their simplicity and universal appeal. They were easy to assemble, bake, and serve, making them perfect for party hosts juggling multiple dishes. Their savory flavor and buttery crust paired beautifully with mustard-based dipping sauces, or even a dollop of ketchup for a nostalgic touch. Variations of this dish often included additional ingredients, such as a smear of cheese or a sprinkling of herbs before wrapping the dough around the sausage. Some adventurous cooks even used puff pastry for an extra layer of decadence. Pigs in a blanket were especially cherished because they were fun and easy to eat, ideal for mingling guests who wanted something hearty and manageable.
13. So, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
we are all one.
While they may still appear at modern parties, their retro roots lie in the 70s love of creative and convenient appetizers. Recreating pigs in a blanket is a great way to add a touch of nostalgia to your celebration while ensuring you have a surefire crowd pleaser on the table. The next dish uses seafood. 12. Lobster Newburg. Lobster Newburg was a rich and indulgent dish that epitomized the elegance of New Year's Eve dining in the 1970s. This luxurious seafood entree featured tender chunks of lobster meat bathed in a creamy sauce made with butter, cream, egg yolks, and a splash of sherry or cognac. The sauce was the heart of the dish, offering a velvety texture and a hint of warmth from the liqueur. It was typically served over puff pastry shells, rice, or toast points, allowing the delicate lobster flavor to shine through. Lobster Newburg originated in the late 19th century. but it gained renewed popularity in the 70s as a decadent choice for holiday entertaining. Its rich ingredients and sophisticated presentation made it a staple for special occasions like New Year's Eve dinners, and while lobster Newburg has become less common today, it remains a classic that delivers unparalleled flavor and elegance. Recreating this dish offers a chance to celebrate the culinary extravagance of the 70s while treating guests to an unforgettable dining experience. Next up, we look at a tropical twist on a festive salad. 13. Ambrosia salad. Ambrosia salad was a quintessential addition to New Year's Eve spreads in the 1970s, embodying the era's love for sweet, fruit-forward dishes. This colorful, no-cook salad combined canned mandarin oranges, pineapple chunks, shredded coconut, miniature marshmallows, and maraschino cherries, all bound together by a creamy dressing made from sour cream or whipped topping. Its name, ambrosia, meaning the food of the gods in Greek mythology, reflected the dish's indulgent and heavenly flavors. The bright citrus fruits and sweet marshmallows provided a burst of flavor and texture, while the creamy dressing added a tangy richness that balanced the sweetness. Optional add-ins like chopped nuts or sliced bananas elevated the salad further, making it a versatile choice for party tables.
Tasty.
Ambrosia salad was a hit in the 70s due to its simplicity and vibrant presentation. Its tropical flavors brought a touch of sunshine to winter celebrations, and its versatility made it suitable as both a side dish and a dessert. Although it's less common today, ambrosia salad remains a nostalgic favorite for those who remember its prominence. Recreating this salad is an easy way to add retro charm to your New Year's Eve party, while delighting guests with its sweet and creamy flavors. The next dish combines a buttery pastry crust with a savory filling. 14. Salmon turnovers. Salmon turnovers were an elegant and flavorful hors d'oeuvre that added sophistication to New Year's Eve parties in the 1970s. These bite-sized pastries featured a flaky golden crust filled with a creamy mixture of cooked salmon, cream cheese, and fresh dill. The turnovers were made by cutting puff pastry into squares, placing a dollop of the salmon filling in the center, and folding the dough into triangles. After sealing the edges with a fork, the turnovers were brushed with egg wash and baked until golden and crispy. The filling provided a rich, tangy contrast to the buttery pastry, making these treats irresistible. Salmon turnovers were cherished for their versatility and ease of serving. Their small size made them perfect for mingling guests, and their luxurious flavor profile elevated any party spread. The use of salmon and dill reflected the era's growing appreciation for refined, gourmet ingredients, and though they've become less common on modern menus, salmon turnovers are a delicious way to bring a touch of 70s flair to your holiday celebrations. They're easy to make ahead and serve warm, ensuring you have an appetizer that's both practical and indulgent. Our next dish takes us back to a rich and savory casserole perfect for sharing. 15. Mushroom casserole. Mushroom casserole was a comforting and crowd-pleasing dish that frequently appeared at New Year's Eve gatherings in the 1970s. The casserole began with sautéed mushrooms, often mixed with onions and garlic, then folded into a velvety bechamel or sour cream-based sauce. Grated cheese, such as Swiss or Gruyere, added depth and nuttiness. The mixture was then poured into a casserole dish, topped with breadcrumbs, and baked until bubbling and golden. Mushroom casserole was popular for its versatility, as it could serve as a side dish or a vegetarian entree. Its creamy, cheesy texture and warm, earthy flavors made it a comforting addition to any holiday table. The dish's ingredients were easy to customize, with some versions incorporating rice, wild mushrooms, or even a splash of sherry for added sophistication. Though it's less common today, mushroom casserole remains a retro classic that's easy to revive. Its rich flavors and satisfying texture make it an excellent choice for New Year's Eve feasts, offering both nostalgia and indulgence. Up next is a chilled dessert. 16. Grasshopper pie. Grasshopper pie was a cool, creamy dessert that brought a hint of minty freshness to New Year's Eve celebrations in the 1970s. This no-bake pie featured a vibrant green filling flavored with crème de menthe liqueur, giving it both its signature color and a refreshing minty taste. The crust was typically made from crushed chocolate cookies or graham crackers, which provided a rich, crumbly base for the silky filling. The filling itself combined crème de menthe with whipped cream, gelatin, and sometimes a touch of crème de cacao for an extra layer of flavor. Once chilled, the pie was topped with a dollop of whipped cream or a sprinkling of chocolate shavings for added elegance. Grasshopper pie was a crowd pleaser at 70s parties, loved for its playful presentation and luxurious dessert-like take on the grasshopper cocktail. It perfectly complemented the era's fascination with liqueur-based desserts and vibrant, colorful dishes. Although it's not as ubiquitous today, grasshopper pie is an ideal choice for retro celebrations. Its cool, refreshing flavors and eye-catching presentation make it a perfect choice for bringing 70s charm to your New Year's Eve party. Our next dish takes us from sweet to savory, delivering a gooey, cheesy snack straight from the oven. 17. Hot crab dip. Hot crab dip was a New Year's Eve essential in the 1970s, offering a rich, creamy appetizer that was impossible to resist. This warm, bubbling dip combined fresh crab meat with cream cheese, mayonnaise, and a blend of savory seasonings, creating a decadent spread perfect for dipping. The dip often included a splash of Worcestershire sauce, a hint of lemon juice, and a dash of hot sauce to balance the richness of the crab and cheese. Topped with breadcrumbs or shredded cheese, it was baked until golden and served warm with crackers, crusty bread, or even vegetables for dipping. Hot crab dip was a popular choice for its luxurious flavor and simplicity. It could be prepared ahead of time and baked just before serving, making it a stress-free addition to party spreads. Its creamy, savory profile and elegant presentation made it a standout at cocktail parties and holiday gatherings alike. Today, hot crab dip is still a nostalgic favorite that brings warmth and indulgence to any celebration. Recreating this dish is a surefire way to wow your guests and add a touch of retro flair to your New Year's Eve menu. The next item on our list delivers bite-sized sweetness. 18. Maraschino cherry cookies. Maraschino cherry cookies were a festive and cheerful addition to New Year's Eve dessert tables in the 1970s. These buttery, crumbly cookies featured chopped maraschino cherries folded into the dough, giving them a bright pop of flavor and color. The dough, often flavored with almond or vanilla extract, was rolled into balls and topped with a whole cherry before baking, adding a decorative touch to each cookie. Some variations included a light glaze or a dusting of powdered sugar to enhance their sweetness and visual appeal. These cookies were loved for their simplicity and versatility. They could be prepared in advance and stored for days, making them ideal for busy hosts. Their vibrant red cherries added a festive touch, perfect for ringing in the new year with style. Though they've become less common, maraschino cherry cookies remain a delightful throwback to retro celebrations. Their sweet, nostalgic flavor and charming presentation make them a crowd pleaser, especially for those who remember them fondly from holiday gatherings. The next dish pairs perfectly with champagne. 19. Cheese straws. Cheese straws were a savory snack that graced New Year's Eve tables in the 1970s, offering a crispy, cheesy bite perfect for pairing with cocktails. Made from a simple dough of sharp cheddar cheese, butter, flour, and a dash of cayenne pepper, these treats were piped or rolled into thin, straw-like shapes and baked until golden. The sharpness of the cheese combined with the subtle heat of the cayenne created a flavor that was both rich and addictive. Their crisp texture made them ideal for snacking, and their elegant presentation fit right in with the celebratory atmosphere of the holiday. Cheese straws were a popular choice because they were easy to make in large batches and could be prepared ahead of time. Their versatility allowed them to be served on their own or alongside dips, charcuterie boards, or cocktails. And while they've fallen out of favor in recent years, cheese straws remain a nostalgic favorite for anyone who loves retro snacks. They're a simple, delicious way to bring a touch of 70s charm to your New Year's Eve party while treating your guests to a savory classic. Our next dish brings a little drama with it. 20. Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska was the ultimate dessert for New Year's Eve celebrations in the 1970s.
For in any size home, at any time.
This retro classic combined layers of sponge cake and ice cream, all encased in a thick coating of fluffy meringue. The entire creation was briefly baked in a hot oven, just long enough for the meringue to develop a golden crust while keeping the ice cream inside perfectly cold. The magic of Baked Alaska lay in its theatrical presentation. party hosts often brought it to the table aflame, using a splash of rum or brandy to create a flambé effect that wowed guests. Its combination of warm, toasted meringue and icy, creamy interior made it a sensory delight. Baked Alaska symbolized indulgence and creativity, aligning perfectly with the celebratory spirit of New Year's Eve.
What's in here?
Shauna made those little corn muffins. Where?
Although it required a bit of preparation and skill to execute, the reward was a dessert that left a lasting impression. Today, Baked Alaska is less common, but still remembered fondly for its bold combination of textures and dramatic flair. It's the perfect dessert for those who want to bring a touch of retro elegance to their celebrations. The next dish delivers a tropical twist that's both light and refreshing for holiday spreads. 21. Pineapple ham roll-ups. Pineapple ham roll-ups were a sweet and savory finger food that became a hit at New Year's Eve parties in the 1970s. These bite-sized appetizers combined slices of deli ham with the cream cheese and crushed pineapple filling, rolled up into elegant spirals. The preparation was simple yet effective. The cream cheese and pineapple mixture was spread evenly over the ham slices, which were then rolled tightly and secured with toothpicks. Some versions included a sprinkle of green onions or a touch of Dijon mustard for added depth. The roll-ups were chilled before slicing, making them easy to prepare ahead of time. The combination of salty ham and sweet pineapple, with the creamy richness of the cheese, made these appetizers a crowd pleaser. They were light enough to complement heavier party dishes while offering a burst of flavor in every bite. Although they've largely disappeared from modern menus, pineapple ham roll-ups remain a nostalgic treat that's easy to recreate. Their retro charm and simple preparation make them a perfect addition to a New Year's Eve party, especially for those looking to revisit the bold flavors of the 70s. Our next dish is a rich, comforting soup. 22. Mulligatawny soup. Mulligatawny soup brought a touch of exotic spice to New Year's Eve celebrations in the 1970s. Originating from Anglo-Indian cuisine, this hearty soup featured a flavorful base of curry spices, vegetables, and tender chunks of chicken or lamb. The soup often included onions, carrots, celery, and apples for a sweet and savory balance. Coconut milk or cream was added for richness, while rice or lentils provided a satisfying, hearty texture. Its unique combination of spices and creamy broth made it a warming and indulgent dish, perfect for a cold winter evening. Mulligatawny soup aligned with the 70s fascination with global flavors and adventurous cooking. It was a crowd pleaser at parties, offering something different from the typical hors d'oeuvres and casseroles. Served in small bowls or cups, it was easy for guests to enjoy while mingling. Though it's less common on New Year's menus today, mulligatawny soup is a flavorful choice for those looking to add a touch of warmth and spice to their holiday celebrations. Its comforting, aromatic qualities make it a perfect addition to a retro-inspired party. Our next dish could take center stage at any celebration. 23. Rum balls. Rum balls were a bite-sized dessert that packed a punch at New Year's Eve parties in the 1970s. These no-bake treats were made from crushed cookies, cocoa powder, powdered sugar, and a generous splash of darker spiced rum. The mixture was rolled into small balls and coated in finely chopped nuts, shredded coconut, or powdered sugar for a festive finish. Some versions included corn syrup or sweetened condensed milk to help bind the ingredients and add an extra touch of sweetness. Once chilled, rum balls became the perfect party treat. Easy to serve, full of flavor, and guaranteed to stand out. Their appeal lay in their simplicity and indulgence. They required no baking, could be prepared well in advance, and had a rich, chocolatey flavor enhanced by the warming kick of rum. Rum balls were particularly popular among adults, adding a bit of spirited fun to holiday celebrations. Although they've fallen out of favor, rum balls remain a nostalgic favorite that's easy to bring back. They're ideal for New Year's Eve, offering a sophisticated yet playful dessert option that's sure to impress. Our penultimate dish is a classic and creamy casserole. 24. Scalloped potatoes. Scalloped potatoes were a rich and comforting side dish that earned its place on New Year's Eve tables in the 1970s. This classic casserole featured thinly sliced potatoes layered with cream, butter, and plenty of cheese, creating a dish that was as indulgent as it was satisfying. The preparation began with slicing potatoes as evenly as possible to ensure they cooked through uniformly. A creamy sauce, often made with milk, cream, or even condensed soup, was poured over the layers of potatoes. Generous amounts of cheddar, Gruyere, or Parmesan cheese were added between the layers and sprinkled on top for a bubbly golden crust. Scalloped potatoes were loved for their versatility. They paired beautifully with roasted meats like beef, ham, or lamb, and could be dressed up with add-ins such as caramelized onions, bacon, or fresh herbs. The dish's creamy texture and cheesy richness made it a crowd pleaser at any celebration. And though scalloped potatoes remain a popular comfort food today, their heyday as a party staple was undoubtedly during the 70s. For our finale, we revisit a decadent, chocolatey dessert that's both timeless and extravagant. 25. Black Forest Cake. Black Forest Cake was the ultimate dessert centerpiece for New Year's Eve celebrations in the 1970s. This German-inspired treat featured layers of rich chocolate sponge cake, sweetened whipped cream, and tart cherries, all topped with a drizzle of cherry liqueur and a generous garnish of chocolate shavings. The cake was as visually impressive as it was delicious. The contrast between the dark chocolate, snowy whipped cream, and bright red cherries made it a standout at any party. Traditionally, Kirschwasser, a clear cherry brandy, was brushed onto the cake layers, adding a subtle boozy kick that complemented the sweetness of the cherries and the richness of the chocolate. Black Forest Cake embodied the indulgence and celebratory spirit of New Year's Eve. Its balance of flavors and textures made it a perfect way to end the evening on a high note. Guests loved its dramatic presentation, and home bakers enjoyed how its layered design felt fancy, yet achievable. Although Black Forest Cake has become less common at modern celebrations, it remains a nostalgic favorite for those who appreciate classic European desserts. Bringing this retro treat to your New Year's Eve party is sure to impress guests and add a touch of timeless elegance to the festivities. New Year's Eve in the 1970s was a blast, from savory bites like Clam's Casino and cheese straws to decadent desserts like Baked Alaska and Black Forest Cake. These recipes captured the spirit of the era perfectly. Reviving these retro dishes is a great way to bring timeless flavors and festive fun to modern gatherings. So which of these classic recipes will you be trying this New Year's Eve? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this.